Welcome to the Odds Breakers, number one place for shared sharp betting information.
All right, welcome back, everyone. It is podcast 69 of 2018, which is almost over. I think this is the second to last one. I'm your host, Kiev O'Neil. You can tweet me at the Public Dog, and you can tweet us at the Odds Breakers. What a fantastic month it's been. We've been nailing our premium plays. Our analysis here. Let's see the numbers. I believe the last month we were 60% up 15 units, including NFL, NCAA football, and NCAA basketball. NCAA football itself is just against the spread 141, 111, and 6. Up 26 units. That's pretty sweet for the year. Bowl season is upon us, and we are rolling. If you need a sports book, please visit mybookie.ag and use the promo code TheOddsBreakers for a one-time 50% bonus. Terms and conditions apply. If you'd like our premium picks, please visit theoddsbreakers.com. And for $12.99 a month, you can become a member, and we're going to give you our premium picks when we make the picks before the line moves. For $2 more, you can become a patron subscriber and get the podcast a little bit early. And if nothing else, visit theoddsbreakers.com and become a free picks newsletter subscriber. Today, we are going to go over December 29th plays, all the games, leans, and December 31st for New Year's Eve, which is a Monday. So, want to make sure you get those plays ahead of time. And then we're going to do our NFL Week 17. Lots of motivational stuff that happens. Going to bring on Cub Fan Danny for our UFC event this Saturday. Pretty huge. John Jones against Alexander Gustafsson. Chris Cyborg versus Amanda Nunes. How awesome is that going to be for UFC 232? Let's get right into college bowl games on December 29th. Some of this is going to be a little bit redundant from our discussions with Kyle Hunter and Chris Felica, but just want to make sure you know my stances on these bowls and the way I'm playing them and the way we gave them out to our clients. These two teams of South Carolina and Virginia are playing in the Belk Bowl, Charlotte, North Carolina, starting on December 29th. Virginia is a dog by 5 points. Over under is 53.5. These two teams are actually very solid type teams, I would say. South Carolina was pretty disappointing coming into the season with higher hopes of being a better team in the SEC East. And Virginia always kind of flies under the radar, beating teams this year like Duke, Miami, Ohio. But they haven't played anyone who's currently ranked in their schedule, the whole schedule. I don't see a coaching advantage here because I like both coaches. Bronco Mendenhall for Virginia and Will Muschamp for South Carolina. For what they are, I would say, definitely above average coaches. Not top 5 or anything, but top 20 coaches. South Carolina will be without their stud wide receiver Deebo Samuel due to the NFL draft, and Virginia may not have anyone that goes to the NFL draft. Who knows? But having said that, I do believe that South Carolina plays in a harder conference in the SEC and has some more impressive numbers. The Gamecocks have played 6 ranked teams, beat Missouri, should have beaten Texas A&M. Okay. I also like how they're able to put up 35 points on the Clemson scoreboard there. The Cavaliers are a run-first team. Virginia is, with a very average passing game. The key stat for me is that South Carolina's strong 8.2 passing yards per attempt is going to matter in this game. And they also have a half yard per play advantage on offense over Virginia. It's pretty sizable. I also like how Jake Bentley should be motivated here to either A, go to the pros, or B, hold off 4-star recruit Ryan Helinski from taking his job. Both teams average about the same on the ground at 4.6 yards per rush, and both give up about 4.5. This game will go like the NC State versus Virginia game earlier in the year. Okay, NC State took care of business by double digits. If the weather holds up, I like the Gamecocks. I like them to cover 5 points. South Carolina -5 is the play. The Arizona Bowl in Tucson, Arizona. Arkansas versus Nevada. Nevada +1.5. It looks like Arkansas is favorites laying 1.5 here. Over unders 57.5. Can we forget that Nevada lost to UNLV, their final game of the season? I hope so. Well, if you like Nevada, then you should forget it because it was a meaningless game. It really was for them. They had a bowl wrapped up anyway. We have 2 middle-of-the-pack group of 5 schools playing here for pride. Arkansas State finished better, but Nevada has the better defense, only allowing 5.3 yards per play to 5.7 for Arkansas State. Both teams are 6.2 yards per play-ish on offense, but Nevada played a tougher schedule, beating teams like Air Force, San Diego State, while Arkansas State hasn't really beaten anybody, literally. They took care of the tomato cans in the Sun Belt, and that's about it. This is more of a home game atmosphere for the Wolfpack, being that Nevada is West Coast, and Tucson is considered West Coast. Blake Anderson is also only 1-3 against the spread in bowl games, right? So I'm going to have to play Nevada on the money line, and I'm going to lean over 57.5 here. That's what I want to do. I don't like their coaches' records in the bowl games. Play this one early because lots of local money in Vegas is going to drive this line up. So I think you're going to get some line value here either way if you take Nevada. If you like the Red Wolves, though, I would wait to the very last second. I'm taking Nevada on the money line. I think it's probably, plus 105 or something, plus 110. And I lean the over 57.5. The Peach Bowl, Atlanta, Georgia. You have Michigan versus Florida. Florida's getting plus 7.5 points. Actually, that thing's dipped down since I written this. This is around plus 6.5 now. Over-unders at 51. Michigan will be without defensive tackle Rashawn Gary, linebacker Devin Bush, and Karan Higdon on offense. But I would think that their second string is pretty darn good by now, okay? Harbaugh's been there for 3 years, 3 full years. A lot of his recruits there. He's a good recruiter. Both teams are equal on yards per play on offense at 6.2, but Michigan is much better on defense of yards per play, allowing 4.3 to Florida's 5.1. Michigan was embarrassed the last game they played, right? They were. Something should get fixed, I think, here for Michigan. Felipe Franks played some very good football this year, 23-5 TD to interception ratio. Shea Patterson for Michigan had completed 64% of his passes and a 21-5 TD to interception ratio. So Shea Patterson was better. And in a tougher division, look who Michigan had to play this year: Penn State, Michigan State, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Wisconsin. Man, they really, really had it tough. And, I think that they got through a lot of those games. They just couldn't get past, the big Ohio State one. And obviously Notre Dame was really early. I think Michigan is still power rated better than Notre Dame here. I under 7, I like Michigan. I still like Michigan under 7. I don't care if those 3 guys are out. Harbaugh's looking for revenge this year for their poor performance. They want to finish with a bang. Okay. I know a lot of other people came in hard on Florida plus 7.5, but Florida doesn't have the guns just yet. I do love Dan Mullen there. Don't get me wrong. I love him there, and he's going to be great. But right now, Michigan has been Florida's nemesis. I don't even think Florida's beaten them their last 4 or 5 outings. So I'm taking Michigan -6, -6.5, all the way to -7. The Cotton Bowl in Arlington, Texas. Clemson versus Notre Dame. Well, you heard us talk a little bit about this on the previous episode. I look at Notre Dame as the ACC team that didn't have to play Clemson or NC State for that fact. They did play Syracuse, and they definitely did a pretty good job doing that, though. Both teams had easy schedules, but that doesn't make Clemson a top 2 team. Clemson earned their way to the top 2 because they just been blowing the crap out of some teams. You know, Clemson leads the league in second half points. From a pure algorithm perspective, I ran this, and it's a lot less than my power rating. I have Clemson winning by 6 points here, and it's just because of how good Notre Dame's played, But at the same time, Clemson, the numbers are a little fraudulent when you're that good of a team, because at the end of the day, you just run the clock out on some teams, and you probably could have pulled away for even more, another 100 yards or another 14 points. So it's hard to go by that. So that's why people do go by power ratings more often than not. And from a power rating standpoint, I have Clemson winning by 12. Clemson is weaker against the pass, as we did see against Texas A&M, Syracuse, and NC State. NC State put up 35 points against them. But Notre Dame they're a good passing team. Ian Book at the helm has done great. I think Notre Dame's going to scheme here in the first half, like I said before. I like Notre Dame a lot in the first half, plus the 7 points, and I think that's a great bet here because Clemson likes to turn it on in the second to pull away from teams and then run the clock out at the end. So the way I'm gonna bet this team in this game is I'm taking Notre Dame in the first half plus 7 while the defenses are both fresh, and then I'm going to take Clemson in the second half. I'm going to put a decent size bet on Notre Dame in the first half, and depending upon the game goes, I'm going to do either half the size, even, or double the size of Clemson in the second half. We'll see what happens. Plus, also, bad news for Clemson. DeMarcus Lawrence, their big, beefy defensive tackle came positive for some banned substances. And I'm sorry, I meant Dexter Lawrence. And DeMarcus Lawrence is in the NFL already. Dexter Lawrence came up dirty, and so he's going to miss this game. And he was possibly their best defensive tackle. Not saying that Clemson doesn't have a guy almost as good as him to step up. I think Clelin Ferrell, if I said his name right, is the next guy up here. And the way Clemson recruits you with Dabo Sweeney there, you can expect them to, be fine there. But a lot of distraction here. You got to take Notre Dame here in the first half and kind of make your decision a little bit later. Let's move into the Orange Bowl, baby, in Miami, Florida, Alabama versus Oklahoma. Alabama laying 14 points. Oklahoma in a weird spot there. Over under at 79.5. I actually think that's down to about 77 now. It'll climb back up. Oklahoma's defense ranks 95th, allowing 32.5 points per game, and they rank 102nd in yards per play at 6.0. That's awful. Alabama's top 7 in both categories, allowing only 14.8 points per game and 4.5 yards per play. Huge difference there. Oklahoma's offense ranks first in points per game at 49.5 and yards per play at 8. 48.7, but Bama ranks second in both categories at 48 points per game.